mean, our business is full of crabs in a bucket because it seems like you feel like you got to put somebody else down for you to get up versus holding somebody's hand. You know, a chain link is always going to be stronger than one link by itself. And there's room at the top. I mean, there's tons of books that you can read about the true history of the music business, and it's written by old executives and pioneers in our business. But there's a common theme when you look at these books and you look at the history. The business was built so everybody who touched the music can make money. The problem is the manager want to live like the artist, or the roadie want to live like the sound tech. Like, you can't do everything. And unfortunately, people are too busy watching what you're doing to really focus on what they're doing. So versus being the best what they can be in whatever part of the business they're in, they're busy shooting you down, and then you get a little success. And you don't get an opportunity a lot of times to really grow and mature in the business and be successful before everybody feels like, yo, you didn't come back and get us, so F you. And that's not cool either. And I just think I think it's a systemic issue with our community specifically, you know, that goes beyond music, you know, getting the race and politics and just the way we've been treating this country over 500 years. But also too, I think it's about the people we're in. I had a guy that I'm dealing with on the writing production side have somebody tell them, this is like 2 weeks ago, well, this is how it was when I got in, so this is how I'm doing you. So you doing wrong, you got done wrong, so you doing wrong knowingly. Like, when does it stop? Why do I have to pay for the sins? Listen, hopefully you got treated poorly. You didn't like it, so maybe you won't treat somebody else poorly. But that's just not how it goes down. Everybody wants somebody else to pay dues. And it's funny because I pledged in college. I'm an alpha, A5. Anyone who really pledged, there's a difference between pledging and hazing. You know, we always said hazing is just a useless mistreatment of somebody. Pledging is when you learn something. And there's a big difference, you know? And there are guys who I know that were in my era and before and after who pledged and who got hazed. And some cats who got hazed, they didn't learn anything. And so then when they went on to become pro fights and went on further in the organization, they wanted to haze other people. So it's about how you learn and your perspective and who taught you and what you got out of that experience. I think that broadens your perspective on how to treat people. And so since a lot of people helped me get to where I am, I don't have that crab in the bucket mentality. I feel like it's my duty, it's my job to help as many people as I can. Now, help is the operative word, because there's helping people and then there's doing it for them. And I feel like if I gotta work all day and all night to help feed my family, if you wanna have the same things or better than I have, you have to do the same thing. And that's the difference. A lot of people think help means, by extension, well, you just gotta open the door for me and let me walk through. No, you gotta prove that you want it. I always look at sports, music like sports. Everybody might love it, but everybody can't do it. And I think that when people really understand that everybody doesn't have to be an artist, everybody can't be an actress, everybody can't be an athlete, but there can be a role for you in entertainment if you're willing to learn a different skill set just to be around it, then everybody can win. I think the number one lessons I've learned is patience. I've had a decent ascent and I'm still growing, and hopefully there's a bigger, better opportunity waiting for me somewhere. But my number one mentor on the music side, it always told me, you'll get yours when it's time. And I'm an aggressive person. You know, I'm the kind of person that studies for the test and crams for the exam, and I want to know all the answers. And sometimes, you know, even having all the information, you still got to let the process play out. You know, him teaching me about patience, and even to this day, about being patient has probably been the number one lesson. The other lesson is that work ethic always outweighs talent. You can be the most talented person in the room. You can be the most talented person in the state. But if someone is willing to work harder than you, put in more time than you, they have an opportunity to beat you every time. And Russell Simmons said it best. The best rapper ain't a rapper. The best singer ain't a singer. The best ball player ain't a ball player. Because at some point, they either got outworked, they got out hustled, or they just quit. And so those two things, I think, are the biggest lessons that I've learned, that I carry with me and that I give to people all the time.
When Little John and all the down south guys were using their regional influence on labels, and all those labels were like, damn, why would I pay X amount of dollars for all these samples? This dude here sold gold in his neighborhood, punching 2 notes on a Triton with no samples. As a businessman, I gotta look at that.
You thinking you helping their dream work is gonna help your dream as well, man. And the fucking moment was just like, hey man, swallow your pride, take that energy, and you help create a blueprint. Do that for yourself, man.
We're in a male-dominated industry, and we think that we're the enemy, and that's stupid. And so I started this event to bring all these women together that feel like they're so different and show them that they're not. And so they can network, understand that relationships do matter, and it's not just relationships with men. It's relationships with other women also.
For us, the accolades and the recognition came naturally. It was never, our radio show was never a platform to get someplace else. It was the end result. It's what we wanted. We didn't have any ambitions for the show other than, like Bob always says, other than to have an incredible tape the next day.